So today I'm going to talk to you about the story of you. I think sometimes we can really buy into certain stories about ourselves. Some of those stories are wonderful, but sometimes we buy into those stories and actually it feeds into our environment. And I'm talking about the types of stories which we almost begin to enjoy. And it sounds very counterintuitive if we have an issue in our life or if we've gone through certain experiences in our life that we begin to think, this is who I am because, and you fill in the blank. So this is who I am because my teacher made me this way, or because the recession did this, or because of how I was brought up. And when we think about those stories that we have about ourselves, you got to really understand and think about, are they enabling us or disabling us? Are they actually unleashing us into the world and allowing you to be more alive and more loving and more happy and content and congruent with your goals? Or are those stories that we're replaying in our mind, or at least, at the very least, buying into because of our past experience, are they really giving us more freedom or taking that freedom away? So maybe someone has a story. I mean, I see it when my one-to-one clients, and these days I do lots of Skype clients. So when I have my Skype clients, at first I do something where I want to gather all the information up. I want to be able to understand what's happening in their life, what's brought them to me, what kind of symptoms do they have, what kind of ideas or beliefs about the world do they have. And it gets me thinking, it's like, this person has come to this point because of their past. And because of their past story, they begin to have these limiting beliefs and limiting thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, which causes them to be incongruent and unhappy in their life for whatever reason, whether it be depression, anxiety, fears, phobias, you name it. They ultimately have this past story of their life where they actually begin to buy into it and feed into it even more so. Now it makes total sense. I'm not saying it in a negative way, because it's just human nature. We go by our past, and it's just how we understand the world, because our past is our greatest evidence of what could happen in the future. But although it can be a good thing, when we begin to train up our mind, maybe it's because of significant emotional events, maybe we were abused or traumatized, or maybe we were told something when we were younger, or maybe we had a bad experience which led us to that idea about life, or that belief system, or our perception of the world. But when we begin to feed it with more energy, we begin to experience that negative emotion and negative self-talk to our past, we're ultimately feeding that story into our future. It's almost like that's our storyboard as to how life is and how it's going to continue. What I'm getting to really is that, what stories are we giving energy to? What stories are we really buying into which are actually not serving us? And are you prepared to carry on living out that story? Are you willing to allow that story to go into your future? Now, I know you may be thinking, Joseph, well, it is my past. I did go through that traumatic event. But what I really want to ask you is it okay, and is it willing, or are you willing to be able to give that up now? Because when you make that decision that I'm going to refuse to buy into that past experience or my past or those things which happened to me, and instead I'm going to start making positive and empowering decisions right now, you're going to see a huge change in how you not only act and react in situations, but also how you're going to attract other stories into your life, but the empowering ones. Because we want to be able to let go of those. And you maybe also think, well, how do I let go of these things? How do I let go of my past stories? Because I've been there as well. I mean, I was told when I was very young that I wouldn't get anywhere when it came to schooling. And I really went into that and thought that I was a reality until I realized actually that is their perception. I don't have to buy into that. Although I didn't have the learning strategies, although I was anxious and insecure in myself, one day I made a decision that I cannot keep going that way, and I thought, I've got to do whatever it takes. Now, the first step is to assume responsibility for your story and to realize that you have power to give to it or to actually put that energy elsewhere, to actually what you want. So we assume responsibility for our life. We assume responsibility for our past. We assume responsibility that now is my time, I'm going to step things up despite what happened to us. Because I understand that the world can be mean and it can traumatize us. But I also believe that we can make changes. Because many people have gone through things and achieved many great things despite that trauma. I mean, there's a great person in the book, is actually Viktor Frankl, and in A Man's Search for Meaning, and he was in the Nazi concentration camps, and he lost his family. But as you read into that book, you realize that human nature, or the power of a human, is so immense that you can turn those negative things into either learnings, so you learn from it and you grow because of it, or you utilize it to empower others around you and especially yourself. Because the difference is not the past situation, because many people can go through similar or the exact same type of pasts. But what makes a difference between someone acting and reacting in buying into their story or to actually giving it up and doing something positive because of it? And it's all about, I believe, about the responsibility and ownership over it. Rather, the story of your life, a story of your significant emotional events in the past, or things which didn't work out for us, owning us, we in turn say, well, I'm going to assume responsibility. And instead, I'm going to assume the feeling of gratitude that I am alive and I have the ability to step up and make a decision for where I'm heading. So my past does not dictate as to where I'm heading, but instead the thoughts, the feelings, and the behaviors that I start to do now are the things which are going to lead me to be more prosperous in life. They're going to lead me to something better. And when you get into that mindset, I mean, just think about it. Step inside of that you, look through the eyes of you and hear what you'd be hearing and feel what you'd be feeling as that person who just gives up their story and really goes, now is my time to take the world by large, to achieve my goals and dreams, to be grateful, to list all the things that you have about you, your own personal qualities, and that you're far more than that. Whatever you think you are, you're even more than that in every way, because you are love, you are contentment, you are fulfillment. We're a mixture of emotions, but depending where we put our attention to will give us the results. So if your attention is on your past story and just keep on telling that same old story, I mean, think about it. Do you know anyone who just keeps on reliving the same old negative story in their life? Now, we understand that that story, that event which happened to them is not good, but when they keep on repeating it and repeating it as if they're living it out continuously, after a while, we don't resonate with that person. We sometimes feel like they sound like a broken record. And we don't want to be someone who is repeating that record. We want to be able to change the record and really go for what we want by assuming that responsibility and projecting into our world what we want. Because if you keep repeating that into your mind, you're putting it out into your future. You're looking for more things which are similar to that. But if you start to think about what you're grateful for, if you start to think about the type of beliefs that you would like to have about the world, or the type of things that you would like to achieve, and assume that feeling of your goal, of that gratitude, and take massive and inspired action along the way, your mind will begin to seek out those exact same things which are similar to that. I mean, I believe whatever you want wants you. But depending on our energy we're putting out, we're getting the alike back. So if your energy is on the scarcity or the lack of, or all the reasons why you are like you are, your unconscious mind, your brain, will look for other situations to prove you right because it's here to serve you. But if you start to change to what you want, your unconscious mind will do the exact same thing, but in a way that it's getting the things that you want. It takes time to train up your mind, to get in rapport with yourself again, to get to that loving nature of empowerment of you. But once you start that journey, you really begin to see opportunities in your world. And the first step is to no longer buy into those past stories, to actually, in fact, buy into the new story of you, which is prosperous, which is gratitude, which is worthy, which is good enough, and start to hallucinate that in your mind, to begin to act that out and assume that feeling of having achieved your goal and take action on it. When you do, you start that journey of transformation. You start to see the beauty in life, and more importantly, you see the beauty of you and the story that can unfold all the way around you in your life. Because you are ultimately the director of your life. You are the movie star of your life. You are the editor of your life. You are everything, the producer, literally everything. You are in charge of that. You may not be able to change your past, although you can change how you see your past by no longer buying into your story, but you may not even be able to change the events coming to you in your life. I mean, life is life, it happens. I'm a realist. But I do know that when your attitude's right, you can act and react to those things which happen, the good and sometimes the unexpectedly bad, in a more enjoyable, or maybe not always enjoyable, but definitely sometimes, but a more resourceful and empowered, secure state. But it all starts by putting that in motion, to refuse to buy into your past stories and to really buy into something greater, and that is the true essence of you. So project that into your world, hallucinate it in your mind, and more importantly, act upon it with conviction. And if you do that, I really believe you'll start to see some beautiful and wonderful changes in your life. So know your outcome, begin to take action on it, be aware of the results that you're getting, refine it, and get your thoughts and your feelings and your behaviors in sync, not with the past, but with this moment here and as to where you're heading to. That way, you're truly going to be your true potential. So I hope you found that a little bit insightful. Just be conscious that what stories are you buying into ultimately? I mean, are you repeating the same records? Are you saying the same excuses? Are you saying the same reasons as to why you are like you are? Because you now know, you can be conscious when you start to do that, to change the record, to do something else, to catch yourself in the act and focus on your outcome. As I said, it takes time, but when you catch yourself and then start to redirect yourself into where you want to be, you will in turn allow that to become the new habitual way of being. That causes you to feel and experience life the way it's meant to be. So just remember that. Be conscious of what stories you're saying to yourself and others, what you're playing out in your mind. Are you buying into those negative experiences? Or are you going to take responsibility to step up, give up that the energy to those and start putting that equal energy into who you are and your beautiful and wonderful qualities? So have a wonderful day. Oh, by the way, if you want my some free hypnosis sessions as well as 2 1-hour bonus videos. The one video is an hour long, which is got all about how to achieve success in your life, and it includes with some hypnosis sessions, which are daytime ones and nighttime ones. And then I got a secret bonus video after that, which is another hour, and it's all about attracting what you want on autopilot. Now, if you want any of those free hypnosis sessions or free 1-hour courses, then I think it'll be a great idea to sign up to my newsletter. As soon as you do, I give you login details to my hub and you'll get access to all those gifts and much more than that. I've got something very exciting, a new program coming out. For anyone who's experiencing anxiety or worries or doubts, I've got a new program which I think is going to be very valuable to you. But at the very least, take advantage of the free success course and also the course on attracting what you want on autopilot. Now, to get that, all you have to do is go to www.josephclough.com .info, not .com, but .info. So josephclough.info, and you'll be able to get all access to those things. So I hope you're enjoying my work. I am here to serve, and I am doing far more than ever before, and I want to be able to give as much as I can. So I hope you're enjoying this. I mean, at the moment, how cool is it? I think I've now produced around 250 free videos and over 300 audios on coaching and all those hypnosis titles and so on, and I'm really grateful and blessed for you to be watching these videos and audios online. And if you're enjoying it, feel free to spread the word. The more people get access to them, the more we can actually help each other together as one team. So have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon. Many thanks and goodbye.